What's up, everybody? Meet Robots once again. Gray and Eric in the Down Zone.
You.
Today, we are going to talk about the 10 people that piss us off the most at the gym. Gonna do a little BuzzFeed style for you.
I'm glad you said piss off instead of hate, because I don't really hate anyone.
I don't hate anyone at the gym.
There's definitely a lot of people who am irritated by.
Yeah.
At least.
Before we get this rolling, I just want to remind everybody kindly to check us out on all social media outlets. We're on Twitter, that's Meet Robots PC. We're on Instagram, just Meet Robots. We are on Facebook, that's facebook.com/Meet Robots Podcast. We are on YouTube, Meet Robots, that's 2 words. And we have our website, meetrobots.net. So be sure to check out all those sites, subscribe where you can, like, follow, share, whatever.
Any questions for us? You can tweet at us for sure. Do that. Again, it's Meet Robots PC on Twitter. You can leave a comment on our Instagram post. On the Instagram, we have a lot more pictures of our little activities and adventures that we go on. So check us out there for visual stimulus. And then Twitter, interact with us.
Yeah, if you like what we're doing, just make sure you give us some support. Let us know you like what we're doing. So, let's get this thing rolling. Mr. Doan, who is number 10?
Number 10, the dude with the gallon jug, the 1 gallon jug of water.
So, this guy,
Or girl,
it's not like a super offensive thing to me that they have this gallon jug. It's just like, why? Come on.
It's a little silly.
Like, unless you are working out outdoors, like, it's different if you're, like, actually, like, doing manual labor all day on a roof or something. But, I mean, if you're in the gym with running water, do you really not have time to run to the drinking fountain?
You don't need to drink a gallon of water in your workout.
In 1 hour?
Yeah.
In maybe
or
2?
Maybe 3 hours. Like, you might not even...
That's like your day, almost.
You don't even need to drink a gallon of water in a day. So
I think a gallon of water in a day is not a bad thing.
It's not
a
bad thing.
In a day.
It depends on the weather, of course, but 1 gallon is like your day's allotment at most. And you don't need to be carrying that around with you.
Especially if it's like a gallon jug of like purple shit. Like, like that's not hydrating you. Don't lie to yourself.
I think it's just like, hey, I'm really into fitness. Check it out. I have this status symbol.
How much water I drink.
Super healthy, and I'm super
so
into
healthy.
Fitness. I knew a guy once who did my roof, and I lived in Texas. He not my roof. He did he fixed like our AC or like something that was in our attic. And he said he drank it multiple gallons a day, but never went to the bathroom. That's how much he sweat.
Oh, that's rough, man.
That's rough. He said he get heat stroke at least once a year.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I mean, I guess if you have like a medical condition and you're gonna get heat stroke at the gym, bring your gallon. But like, seriously. Every gym has a drinking fountain. I bring, like, not even a liter bottle.
Yeah, I bring a liter around with me in my bag, but it lasts me multiple hours. It's like, yeah, I got this water bottle with me. And, like, you can fill up your water in most places. You don't need a gallon jug.
Even, like, the bathroom sink. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, who's number 9?
Number 9, the gratuitous grunters. It's okay to make noise. We all
we don't all go to Planet Fitness.
Yeah. I surely make noise, but there's a time when it's appropriate, and there's a time when it's not, and largely depends on effort, and largely depends on the demands of the lift.
Yeah, I mean, if this is every rep of every set of your entire workout, you're just grunting every, like, especially if it's something like silly, like you're doing like wrist curls and you're like, burn. And I'm like trying to like work with someone across the entire gym, and I just hear like, you gotta chill, man. Like
deadlifts, squats, benching is pretty much where you're gonna find it. That's pretty acceptable. Any really big heavy movement.
Yeah, I mean, like, by no means are we saying be silent throughout your entire workout. Because honestly, I sometimes think people who are silent through their entire workout aren't working that hard. But you don't have to be super loud through your entire workout either.
Especially every set. I mean, every set, every rep.
Every set,
There's
every
no
rep.
reason that you should really grunt on your first, like, rep 1 through 5 if you're doing a set of 10.
Yeah, like, have a warm-up. Like, I've seen people with, like, those like things you put between your knees, the little like rigid circles that you like squeeze between your knees.
Yeah.
I've seen people with those. There was this one guy at Oswego. He would take that and he would just like squeeze it for chest, like straight arms, squeeze it, and he would grunt so loud, and it was like a static hold.
Yeah. That's weird. That's a weird device because most people don't need to like activate their adductors like that.
I don't know, man. All right, number 8.
Number 8, the deep tank Razorbacks. You definitely have to be shredded and super aesthetic if you're gonna wear them.
Again, none of these things apply to
The elite,
the Mr. Olympias of the world. You can wear whatever you want. You can lift shirtless, but like until you're to that point, like if you're not like super super ripped and shredded,
you definitely have to have low body fat. You can't be doing it if you're looking puffy.
and like even then, if you have this like deep cut bro tank, there's like if I can see both of your nipples, that's wrong. That doesn't count as a shirt anymore.
Or if it's a poncho.
Or if it's a poncho. I've seen a guy, he had a bro tank. It was cut so low that he actually cut through the bottom of the shirt on one side. And at that point, you are wearing a poncho. It is no longer a shirt. It is no longer acceptable to come into a commercial gym and work out. And I mean, like, of course, this doesn't apply if you're like at a CrossFit place where it's the norm to be shirtless while you work out.
We're talking about regular commercial gyms.
We're talking regular commercial gyms when people are going to be like, that's weird, bro. Like, there's elderly people here. They don't want to see both of your nipples while you work out.
Number 7, large groups. We think if you're going to the gym with more than 3 people, then you're probably not getting quality work in, and you're definitely socializing more than you're lifting, and you're taking up space and equipment. And at that point, you're just a gang hanging out.
Quite honestly, yeah. Like, it takes minimum, I feel like, any given set of any exercise should take around 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If you have to wait for 3 people, and you're probably not going bang, 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 switching efficiently. Yeah. Maybe that's okay. You're probably changing weights, though, because you're probably not all exactly the same strength. And if you're not changing weights, someone's probably pushing too light, someone's probably pushing too heavy. So, I mean, these giant groups, they're slowing you down, and you're just taking forever on the equipment. It's like, how many sets you got? Well, we each got 5, so that's 35, because there's 7 of us. Who's next?
Next are gross people. This means they might smell super sweaty, slobbing all over the equipment. For the most part, it's kind of gross. That's why we kind of have it lower on the list, closer to that number 1 spot.
I'm not like super offended by gross people because sometimes I'm gross when I work out.
Right.
Like some days you just can't help it. But like I've come across some people who just stink so bad, and I'm like 5 feet away. They walk
or it's like,
by me.
This is my gym shirt. It's just yellow and stained, and they just don't wash it. It's just in their
or like
bag.
if you're on like a sports team and like every day for practice you have like the same crusty ass shirt that you pull out of your locker. That's nasty, man.
Yeah, take care of yourself. There's things you can do to control your odor, control your stank.
Yeah, I mean, like deodorant, wonderful thing. Like towels, you can like wipe off your sweat.
Yeah,
it's
incredible. If you're someone who's prone to sweating a lot, bring a towel.
Especially if you're going to be on like upholstered things, don't just like drench the upholstery and leave it. And don't let me smell you from 5 feet or more away.
Yeah,
that's
and
pretty
if you are
nasty.
Sweating hard, maybe if you're engaging in
keep your arms down.
just back off a bit.
Yeah, speak a little louder.
Yeah, speak a little louder. Don't be huffing and puffing, blowing that sweat in my face. Number 5, halfway there, we got the cardio and ab junkies.
This is, I'm not trying to generalize, but this is usually girls. This is usually younger girls.
I think most girls, actually.
I don't think it's most girls. It's getting more popular for girls to lift, which is a great thing. But I have seen too many girls. They hit 3 different cardio machines in a workout. They do planks, they do crunches, they do obliques, they do whatever.
Dude, they're trying to get toned. You can't hate on it.
They're trying to get toned. And this one, I mean, this one bothers us because there's this misconception.
Yeah, we know better than to do that.
Don't use that tone.
They may not know that their methods aren't really facilitating their goals.
Basically, what you think is toning is really just destroying your muscles.
Yeah.
It's just eating up your muscles in a way that they don't repair bigger.
Well, let's get a clear definition of what tone is. The term tone is the resting tension of that muscle, of any muscle. So we're all tone. We all have toneness. Some people have more tension. Degrees.
It's not particularly a good thing.
Yeah, if you're too toned, if you're tonic, then your muscles might be tight. You might have like pain, and like if you have like very tight low back muscles, like spinal erectors, you might have some low back pain, or you can have imbalances. You can have like perhaps some anterior pelvic tilt, whatever. A lot of like the myofascial release, a lot of the stretching you do is to decrease that tone in the muscles, so you can gain more range of motion, or you can get into better positions.
Yeah, what you think is tone, if you did not know this current definition, is really body composition. If you say I want to get toned, you mean I want better body composition, which is some ground in between gaining muscle and losing fat. And
you don't have to get super shredded and have abs or anything like that, but you need to show off the shape of the muscle that you've been developing.
Yeah, it's done by a very similar means to how most guys lift if they don't really know what they're doing.
It's very similar to bodybuilding, but you're just limiting the mass if you don't want to get bulky.
It's basically bodybuilding. You lift, and you lift a bunch, and you do high volume.
Trying to grow and shape that muscle.
And especially like curves, especially abdominals. People do like burnout for abdominals will grow them. You should go heavier with your abdominals if you really want to like add some mass and add some shape to them. But everyone has abs.
Yeah,
but most people just have fat sitting on top. You got to burn off the fat.
And if you don't have much muscle underneath and you burn off all that fat, then you're going to be very, very skinny.
That's not really as much cardio as it is diet.
Yeah. So I'm glad we covered that. That's just some good knowledge for anyone out there who's trying to get toned like Gray over here.
I'm toned.
Number 4, the clueless people.
So, like, don't be offended if you're, like, a new gym goer. Don't, like, avoid the gym because you are clueless. But this is not just clueless people, but clueless people who refuse to ask questions and learn from the people around them.
The great thing about going to the gym is that you have a community right there to ask questions, to support you. Everyone's there for the same purpose generally. Everyone's trying to get into better shape, one way or the other, getting stronger, getting leaner, whatever. Everyone has
we all want to be better.
Yeah, so there's different ways that you can approach that, and if you have no idea about what you're doing, go ahead and ask somebody. There's never been a time when someone has gone to somebody in the gym, and they're like, hey man, I don't really know what I'm doing, can you like give me a few pointers? And the person's like, shut up, you're an idiot. It's not going to happen.
I'm not helping you.
What? You want to take my advice? You think that I know what I'm doing?
Yeah,
no, that's an insult.
Usually people are going to be flattered, and like maybe they aren't going to give you a ton, maybe they're not going to talk your ear off, but they'll probably give you something like like, I want to add some mass to my shoulders. I don't even know what this muscle's called. Like, how do I do that? And they'll be like, oh, you got to do shrugs.
Yeah, and even if they don't know like really what they're doing, if they're not super knowledgeable, go to somebody who looks like they have the goals that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a few ideas of what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and they'll give you some sort of advice to point you into a good direction.
Yeah, I mean, don't expect someone to like just become your trainer, but I mean, you can ask other gym goers, you can ask people who work there. 95% of people.
You can ask someone at the front desk. I'm sure they'll be glad to give you a tour of their equipment and then try to sell you stuff.
95% of people are pretty happy to give you a few pointers if you ask, even if it's just like check my form. How many sets, how many reps should I do, whatever it is.
And that's important because if you ask the right questions, or you ask any questions really, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and possibly avoid injury.
Yeah, I've learned so much from just the people I've worked out with, the people I go to the gym with, not just from reading, not just from classes, but actually from the other people around me.
Yeah, they have different perspectives.
I learned cool exercises like, oh, that one feels great. Oh, I got a great pump from that one.
I didn't think about trying this. It's pretty cool. What do we got? Number 3, people who text or chat during or excessively between their sets. Typically, if I'm taking my rest period, like me and Gary have been training for strength, so our rest periods might be anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's a few ways you can go about this rest time. You can either be very focused and take your time between sets to kind of remind yourself of various cues and go over how the set beforehand went and how you're going to make the next set better, make different adjustments in your head, and kind of think about the feel of that last set. And even if that just takes you 2 minutes, you just need a quick reminder, you got maybe another 2 or 3 minutes to waste. Maybe that's a good time to catch up on a text or something, but I limit myself to not texting or checking any social media on my phone between sets. But between exercises, then I'll be like, okay, like I just finished squatting, I'm gonna go on to my next movement. Let me grab my phone, check something. Maybe it went off during one of my sets. But also, texting excessively means that you might not be staying to those rest times that you've set for yourself. Or if you're texting or talking to somebody during an exercise, your intensity is nowhere where it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're Snapchatting me a video of your set, I don't think it was the intensity that you needed it to be. You are just going through the motions. If you can text, if you can Snapchat, look at your Facebook during your set, you're not killing it.
if you're like reading a book while you're like bicycling on the
or like watching the TV, just like maybe you need to step it up. It's one thing, like there are, like I do support like walking as cardio, and sometimes walking is a little boring. You probably can't read if you're walking with a purpose, with some intensity, but you can probably watch TV.
Yeah, you can definitely watch TV.
But I mean, if your entire motivation is like, I just want to watch this episode, bro.
I'm just trying to watch this episode while I get my little.
If you're like on the leg press and you're like staring up, craning your neck to like see what's on the TV, like maybe.
Or talking to your lifting partner.
Yeah, if you're talking through your set, that's another thing too. If you're like doing squats and you can talk, not enough.
And if you are lifting heavy and doing that, you're gonna get hurt. You're just not paying attention to what's going on at that point. Number 2, Greg calls them beta blockers. I guess that's like
a rock climbing term, because that's like beta is the problem solving. It's like the series of skills.
But this is someone who gives unsolicited advice, and you know, I want to help people when I'm at the gym, and if I see someone doing something wrong, but they're not asking about it, or they don't even know they're doing it, you know, if it's appropriate, you know, I can kind of use social cues and kind of my ability to interact with people. I'll just go up and give them a quick tip or something like that, but I'm never like forceful with it, or I'm not a jerk about it. A quick little tip, and then if they are responsive to that and they're interested in what I have to say, then we'll go on and have a little bit of a conversation, or they'll try it out, and if they're unresponsive to it, then I don't push it anymore. But the reason it's number 2 is people who just go like form Nazis. They tear you apart, or they go up to people and just really want to show how smart they are. They want to prove how much they know about lifting, and they want to make you feel like an idiot.
There's a lot of people who like lift based on these old school rules. Like a lot of time, like older guys will like give me a piece of advice on like a squat, especially, and there's a lot of like outdated, just wrong rules that people squat by, like keep your knees together, keep your feet close, keep your head looking up. And like we've talked about this, I think we talked about this with Adam, just like all these inaccurate cues that people used to squat by.
Keep your spine straight but not vertical.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And I've been doing like a low bar squat and had people tell me like things about like a high bar squat or like a wrong squat, like, hey, you should like look up.
Well, it's kind of weird though, because these people think they know what they're talking about, and like we think we know what we're talking about. So the real problem.
But I mean, it's just I'm squatting for a different purpose. I'm squatting for a different set of rules, and like people, especially if people are like correcting your tempo.
Oh yeah, you're just like, dude, I'm doing this on purpose.
Yeah. Usually I have my tempo for a reason. Like I'm either doing speed work because I want to get faster, not because I want to get bigger, because I want to add some power to my lift.
Yeah, they go on giving you advice.
And they're like, you should like slow down your tempo, do a slow eccentric, you'll get a way better pump. I'm like, oh, thanks, bro.
But I'm not trying to do that.
Like I need to compete 5 pounds lighter than I am. I don't want to put on a ton of mass right now. So yeah, that sort of thing. And we got the grand finale coming here. Number 1.
Can you guess it? We'll leave a little space for you to guess it. Yeah, that's right. You guys got it. It's curling in the squat rack.
Curling in the squat rack. I haven't actually taken action and like yelled at anyone yet.
I have. I have during because
I've
I
been
have two
so
racks in my gym.
close.
I have 2 racks in
Yeah,
my gym, and I had
we
a
have
client.
3 and like a Smith and a couple Smith machines. It's like, oh,
I had a client, and like we need to get in a rack, and there's this dude curling in the rack, and I just go up to him and go, "Hey man, are you curling the squat rack?" And he goes, "Yeah, dude, I got one more set." And I was like, "Can you do it somewhere else?" And he's like, I just got one more. Can I just finish up real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, just do it now." But he was like, "Yeah, I am doing that." I have one rule: if you can curl 225 in the squat rack, but if you don't, then
yeah.
get out of there.
Like, granted, there are exercises other than squats I find acceptable in the squat rack. Basically,
pull-ups are a good one.
Basically, any lower body exercise, go for it. I say bent over rows are fine.
You kind of need it for a bent over row.
And also, like, I'm okay with, like, benching if you need to, like, set the pins for, like, range of motion if you don't have, like, a spotter with you. And
deadlifting in the squat rack is
serious.
kind of unacceptable if people need a squat rack, because you don't need the rack at all for a deadlift unless you're doing rack pulls.
Yeah. But if you go over there and you curl, you can curl literally anywhere. Like, even curling at a bench is way better than curling in the squat rack.
Because you can't squat anywhere besides the squat rack.
You can squat in the squat rack. Unless you're, like, a serious, like, good front squatter and you know how to do a clean and pull that thing off the floor, do your front squats. You can, but, like, you don't want to have to do a clean before your set of heavy squats.
Yeah.
And I've seen, like, more than one person curling in more than one squat rack at the same time. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, just be courteous to your gym goers. They pay for that space and the equipment too, and it's about economy of time and equipment.
And generally, it's 95 pounds that people are doing.
Yeah.
You can't find 95 pounds somewhere else. I know we have fixed weight barbells.
They're also probably newer gym goers who are curling the squat rack. They don't really know what's up. They don't know the gym etiquette.
Yeah, I mean, but it's usually like 95 pounds. I know we have a 90 and a 100 pound fixed barbell, like, for curling. You can do it. You can do it at the preacher bench thing.
Yeah,
you can do it at a bench press place. You can, like, and there are adjustable bars for curling. There are, like, plenty of extra bars. Don't take my squat rack
and the barbell.
I will rip your face off, maybe. But yeah, so that really concludes our rant on who we get very irritated by at the gym.
People who suck.
People who suck, yeah. Again, make sure you check us out on all of our social media outlets.
If you have any questions about how to not be one of these people, tweet at us, or tweet at us other people that you don't like. Maybe you have a different opinion, or maybe you didn't think our ratings were good. Maybe people with gallon jugs deserve to be lower on our list because you hate them so much.
Yeah, and if you think that we're just being assholes, let us know too. Yeah, be sure to subscribe, like, whatever. We're on iTunes, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Later, folks.
Peace.